New videos weekly.
It's over 9,000!
There's only 3 reasons why someone would ever want to pick up a guitar. You're ugly. Or fat. Or both. Number 2, you don't have a thing. You're trying to find your thing that makes you stand out from the crowd. So you decide picking up a guitar is the right thing for you because none of your friends are doing it. That way you can look way more special than you actually are. The 3rd reason is you really like someone. And you really want to have sex with them. So I'm here to tell you everything you're doing wrong. Here's exactly what you need to do to look way better at the guitar than you really are. Holding your guitar. Holding a guitar is a lot like holding a baby. Whereas like a baby, if you are holding it correctly, you're going to get nice smiles. Whereas if you're holding it incorrectly, you're gonna go to prison. You don't put it here, you don't put it here. There's a curve on the guitar to go right on your leg. And you need to let it just hang out on your leg. Just let it sit on your leg. Who told you the guitar needs to be parallel to your chest when you hold it? Johnny No Cash, this is not how you hold a fucking guitar. Let the guitar fall naturally, because that's where you're going to be hanging out for the rest of your life, okay? You're just learning how to connect with the guitar you're playing, so you got to learn to loosey-goosey. And the only people that are going to argue with me on that are classical musician players. They play the guitar over here.
You would want to hear songs from the Renaissance?
Stop driving with your thumb. Tell me why, or who, said this was okay. What credible musician made you believe that the best way to play guitar is with your thumb? You overcompensate the purpose of your thumb. Your thumb is like the bass player of your guitar. Like, it plays the bass. That's all my thumb was doing. Your thumb's a fucking broke-ass piece of shit. You don't dive into the world of guitar learning finger styles. You get a pick. Look at the difference between my thumb and the pick. It's mind-boggling to me that people think that their thumb is useful. All you're doing is you're hyper-focusing on the pattern of your thumb's movement and where your fingers are on the guitar because you knew. Get comfortable with your pick. Right? Just learn how it feels. Learn everyone's favorite chord. G. The next time an acoustic guitar player picks up a guitar around people, I 100% bet you the first thing they do is play a G. It's a musical equivalent to asserting dominance to the people around you. It tells them, hey, I know a pretty chord, so the next thing, it has to be good. Pay very close attention. I'm going to bring up my hand again, and it's going to show you the G chord. And take your hand. Bend your ring finger and your pinky. That's where we're going to start here. Just bend the ring finger and pinky. Do not worry about anything else. Just do that. Just that. That's all you gotta do. Like you're giving Sarah at the merch table the old second dinner behind the dumpster. 3rd fret, highest string, 3rd fret, 2nd to highest string. Start there. Lower fingers, middle finger, 3rd fret. So you're like a sandwich. And then naturally rest your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Here's why. It's a pretty chord. And you keep your pinky and your ring finger anchored right there so they don't go anywhere, but you use your lower fingers to go. But then you mix it all together like cheap ass ramen you made, right? Like, oh my god, he is f***ing good at guitar! By hanging out in the G chord, you are going to be able to sound way better than you actually are. Don't worry about the other chords like the E's and the A minors. Like, don't worry about that shit. Stay in G. And don't look at the neck. Looking at the fretboard while you're playing the guitar says one thing. Use a bitch. I'm gonna play you a song. Alright. Looking at the fretboard is showing your hand to whoever you're showing off to. You know musicians don't play with their eyes. They play with their brain. They know what their fingers are doing without looking at them. They know what's happening there. I didn't look once. So with that, just practice your hand placement of where the G is. And remember, it's just that. That's all it is. And then just hang out there and work on your right hand. Drop D. Drop D is like the steroids of music. Your confidence is through the roof until I ask to see your penis. Drop D allows you to not have the ability to do that because my index finger is now being the nut of the guitar by playing something called bar chords. So, like this. Replace the nut by moving my finger one step in front of it, 2 step, 3. Index finger being the nut was a bar across all strings, hence bar chord, or as rock musicians call them, power chords. What drop D does is you're tuning this lowest string to match the D string. It's almost like you're taking the E and matching it to the D by dropping it to a D. All you got to do is you got to play the D string and the E string at the same time, and you're going to tune it down. Tell me if you can figure out when it's the same. So what you just did by down tuning the string is that you just made this a bar chord. So that way you only have to use one finger to change it. One f***ing finger! This is also very common for electric guitar players if you want to plug into your line 6 and set it to insane. More of a pop punk man myself. Drop D is also great when you go through your songwriting phase of emo romance where you're just listing off random shit to impress a girl. Green eyes, the sunrise, thunderstorms and apple pies. The last one I'm going to show you is an absolute hack that jump-started me into looking way better than I am when I was like maybe 6 months into the guitar. Make sure to like and subscribe before I show you the last one because I need my band to see this and I need them to know that it's okay to let me come back. Seriously, please. And the venue opened like 4 days after they cleaned it up. Let's get into the last one. Alt tunings. Dad Gad. Dad Gad. The tuning you're most likely used to is called standard tuning. EADGBE. Would you be shocked if I told you that there is no law stating you have to stay there? There are these things called alternate tunings, and it's basically any tuning that's outside of standard. So instead of the EADGBE, we're going to adjust the strings to Dad Gad. D-A-D-G-A-D. And it's way easier than it sounds. Just like how we drop D. Just like that. Just by dropping that lower D alone, we're already at Dad G. But we're trying to do Dad Gad. So D-A-D-G. What do we need? Dad Gad. Oh, we need an A. We need an A instead of a B. This is B right here. That's the B string. We need to tune it into an A. But it's a B. So if we need to put a B and make it into an A, we got to move it down a step. Because A is before B. I'm not starting a YouTube channel on the f***ing alphabet. But something your brain probably didn't pick up on is that if we're doing dad-gad, that means D-A-D. That means this is already an A. So we could just match this string with this. Watch. Words. And the same thing can go for the top string, because if we're doing dad-gad, that means the top string needs to be a D. So, is there any more D's on the board? There's a D, there's a D, there's a D. Not yet, but here we go. We're in dad-gad. I'm gonna play an open strum. It's like a D sus chord. I put my guitar back in standard tuning for you, and I am going to go into dad-gad without teaching you, so you can understand how easy it is to me. It's either going to show you that it's simple or show you that I'm awesome. Regardless, everybody wins. The beauty of dad-gad is you now have the benefits of drop D by playing with only one finger. Right? So you don't have to worry about the bar chords, but then you also have this bright, like G-ish kind of feel. It's technically a D sus chord, but it's still that nice bright feeling. Even by playing a song where you're just hanging out doing just something like that, right? So what I would suggest is you work on your chords. Maybe learn about licking on the top, like just doing like... Or just play the strings and then just hit the guitar. What's this? Practice this. Practice this. And know you've just been educated by a god.